Toby, as Sam and Josh walked off at the end there, it almost looked as though they were walking off after a defeat to come so close to the victory.
Yeah, and understandably so. When you get that close, it always feels like, a bit more of a bit of pill to swallow. But I think, on reflection, I think we should be extremely proud of our efforts there today. It's been a tight game, I guess, back and forth throughout the 4 days, and to chase on any 4-day wicket and look to score the second highest score of the game is always going to be tricky. And I think the way we went about it was excellent. And obviously credit to Sam, he's played, a phenomenal knock there, and on another day he's steered us home to victory.
On day 3, the pitch seemed to flatten out a fair old bit. They dug in, played the long game, then tried to push on at the end, lost a lot of wickets. But I guess the way that they played day 3 was probably borne out today in that, they put the pressure on Middlesex, and it was an almighty chase which you just fell 1 run short on.
Yeah, and credit to them. They made life extremely tricky once that new ball had gone, and things felt like they're a little bit more docile out there. They hung on in and made it pretty hard to move them. So, as always, we'll look at ways that we could improve on that and try to be a bit more creative. But overall, I think over the course of the 2 innings, bowling, I thought we stuck to our guns really well, controlled the scoring rate brilliantly, and I think that's what kept us in the game there. When it came to this morning and them losing those 3 wickets quickly, it felt like a chase that we fancied and that we could get on top of. And obviously, I guess coming out in a tie proved that we were right. When you get that close, you feel like you always had a chance of getting there.
Going back to the first innings, was that the best bowling performance as a unit this year?
I guess certainly close. I think we always look to have that view of controlling the scoring rate and look to putting as many balls in the right area as possible, and not get too obsessed with taking wickets and know that they'll come from that. And I think on the whole we did that really well. I thought Rai coming up the hill there, when it was trickiest, probably the wind was up the most on that first day there. Really set an incredible example and was as effective as anyone, which was a phenomenal showing. And I guess when you split the wickets like we did all through, it showed that it was a pretty complete bowling effort. So obviously pretty happy with the guys' efforts there.
For scores level, you get 8 points rather than 5 as the chasing side. I guess Sam probably didn't know that when he was running for the second, but thank goodness he did.
No, I didn't either, which I probably should. But yeah, obviously I think as you alluded to earlier, I think both sides had their eye on the win going in today, which is probably what's made it such an exciting day and such a good chase. 2 teams that knew the importance of the game, wanted to find their best route to making it competitive, giving the other team, I guess, not a chance, but a sniff of victory. And I think, ironically, they probably set about trying to get 30 more runs, and in losing their wickets probably made it the game that it was, and was still their best chance, I think, of victory. So entertaining game, and frustrated not to get more, but like I said, proud of the efforts.
Long, hard 4 days for the bowlers as well, for the batters also. Next up, tabletop in Surrey at Lord's next week, so quite the big encounter to dust yourself off for.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to it. Obviously, it's a really exciting game. Anytime you're going to play, Surrey at Lords is a good occasion. And like you said, they're obviously playing good cricket at the moment and have been pretty consistent across the format and across this division now for a good couple of years. So we're going to have to sort of tap into what's been, probably our moments of our best cricket, which we haven't produced as often as we'd like, I don't think, this year. But at the same time, the one thing that I do know is that when we do produce them, that we really can compete with anyone in this country. So I think it's now a case of finding that element of consistency, finding that way to have a bit more endurance in the game, last a little bit longer when we're executing our skills, and then I think we'll be just fine competing with anyone.
And runs have been the toughest part of the season so far. Going into the second half of the summer, that's clearly what's going to have to improve, and it did improve. First century of the summer, Sam Robson, 50s in there as well, on a pitch which over the years has been a more bowler friendly surface than a batter one here.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I think when we find a game like that where it's mapped out for us a little bit, I think that's where at times we've produced our best cricket. And I don't think I've played in any sides which execute as well as we've done over the last few years. When something's laid out like that, the way that we can map out a chase in 4-day cricket and have the belief that we can kind of knock off anything regardless of the scenario. So we probably need to take that into those days 1 and 2 and find a way to create that roadmap when perhaps there isn't one there for us, and things can be a little bit vague until the game's set up. We need to sort of execute there and stay in that game for longer, and that's obviously something that over the next couple of days of prep, getting ready for Surrey, that we'll talk about. The batters are well aware of that, and obviously trying to make sure that we can execute, the sort of skill and the technical ability that we showed today in a chase from ball one.
Brilliant. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.